Hi there, and welcome to my studio. I've been wanting to get outside to do some plein air painting, outdoor painting. Plein air is the French term for painting outdoors, and it's very popular in this area when the weather is good. Now the weather is not so good today. It's actually, let me pan over here quickly. Spring is coming, they tell me. Our grass is still looking sad and it's raining today. So if it were sunny outside, I might take a stab at it. But because of the weather today, I'm staying inside. And what I'm working on is I'm working with oils, and I usually use watercolors. So this is a bit of a challenge for me. Some people find watercolor difficult, and I found it very, very easy. I'm finding it difficult to switch between mediums, to go from watercolor to acrylic to oil. And I'm trying to approach this little piece the same way I do watercolor. I've had some great teachers, but I primarily teach myself by making mistakes and doing it as opposed to just taking classes and observing. This is a start of an oil painting. It's only 8 inches high and 10 inches wide, big enough for me to handle, of blossoms on a tree. I don't know if they're a cherry tree or some sort of a flowering tree, from a photograph sent to me by some friends. And I've tried to approach it like watercolor, where I just do a basic wash. First, I've wiped out my color, and I'm slowly building up the blossoms on the tree. I've put branches in. I've put the dark shapes in. The difference to me going from watercolor to oil is working dark to light. With watercolor, you have a tendency, and actually it's probably recommended, that you work light to dark. It's the opposite here. And I'm trying to keep the brush work loose. I tend to paint very loose in watercolor. I've just basically gotten some shapes in. And another thing I have to remember, I pre-sketch a lot of my watercolor. Here, I don't do a lot of sketching. I try to do it loose and what they call painterly. So I've just done some basic sketching, and I'm trying to remember to work large shapes first and then slowly go into smaller shapes and the detail. So that's a lot to remember, but I'm taking my time with it. And I've got a lot of color mixed here. Alizarin crimson, I've got ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, kind of working with purples and blues, a little bit of green, not a whole lot of green. It's still, the photograph is early spring and a lot of the trees are not fully green or leaved there yet. So the greens are kind of subtle. Working with burnt sienna to bring out some of the branches, and then mixing some burnt sienna, if you can see it, with alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. And I'm going to be using quite a bit of white because the blossoms are pink, and I've just started laying in some of that. And I've got my Gamsol to clean my brushes. It's getting a little gunky here. And I also am using some Galkid, as I believe how you pronounce it, to keep the paint flowing a little bit better. And this is my trusty Guerrilla Pochade box on a tripod, which I usually take outside, but it works well inside too. So that's my big challenge, going from watercolor to oil. It's always good to push yourself and to go to a different medium. Thanks for watching. Have a creative day and just keep practicing.